It's right. It's a two-person show.
Very magical.
Just rewind a little.
Preparation is key. We all know
Just
that.
the other day, I actually
And go to events like this and show your films and meet people and have fun, because this is part of the laurels in its own way. And mention and put Torment at the end of your film if you have.
That should be it.
No, I mean, the little thing
That
that he
should be
has. This is cool. I've been to film, but not like a film party like this since maybe high school, but I didn't have anything to show. So this is like really cool, and it's great to be a part of it. It's the first thing after piano has ever shown to the public.
That was very good. Anything else?
may have moved a little bit.
Are you related to Indiana Jones?
No. But I almost named my son Harris. And we almost named our first child Indiana.
So almost is the key word there.
Almost, yeah.
Right?
So you decided not to do it because your last name is Jones and it wasn't too much.
It is Close.
I named my son
real quick. Eric, come on.
I actually named my son Indiana.
Really?
They went with Mark Hamill. Two.
Oh, there we switched up.
There we go.
Okay, you can switch afterwards. Ready? Look at the camera, Martino. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so let's get some questions for them real quick.
Where do I film my series? Oh, I film my series at home. Thank you. But no, I do. I make all the sets and the costumes and the props. Find the actors, find the people behind the camera as well.
But she is diversifying herself.
Yes.
Now the next show is gonna be really big.
There we go.
So I'm going to be filming at Bonjour America Studios now. I'm going to actually have a studio with a green screen.
Where's Bonjour?
Yes.
Calle Ocho.
Calle Ocho.
Calle Ocho.
Right next to Goodwill on Calle Ocho.
If you want to go, just message her and she will send you the address.
I have to make it.
What?
Yes.
For Jim Shorts, how long did it take you and how did you manage to secure such a location to make your show?
Actually, it's funny that the gym location came to us because one of the people involved knew the manager slash owner of the actual gym. We're actually looking to expand in a bigger gym location for our third episode going forward.
Great.
And it's actually not that difficult. You just kind of go out there, and I went and talked to, well, let me rephrase that. It's not that difficult once you already have a product, bless you, because it was really easy for me to recently go around and say, hi, I'm Eric from Gym Shorts and I have a web series and this is what I've already been done. And the last 3 gyms that I went to were very like, oh yeah, that'd be great, bless you, and they were really excited to possibly be part of it. So it's really just about getting out there and just, asking, Numbers game, like everything else. The more people you ask, the more chance you have of someone saying yes.
They get exposure, right?
Yes, exactly, definitely.
So they get something out of it.
I have a weird experience shooting not this Marilyn, but because the project it's a crazy project. It began as a short film that we turned it into a feature. We couldn't finish the feature and we did a short. And the short doesn't have anything to do with the feature, but while we were shooting the feature, one of the scenes was going to be in a street that going to Homestead, where only police cars and buses could pass by. And we were like, we have to do that like guerrilla, but like fast. No way. The police cars stopped there just so that we could film everything with no problems. We were like, wow.
Nice.
Wow, they kick you out.
Exactly. No, they were like, no, finish. We're here just so nothing happens to you. So yeah, don't be afraid of asking.
I have a question. Are you going to do the feature?
Do you know the story of Ronnie Rockets?
No.
David Lynch, he wrote Ronnie Rockets. It was his first project. It was his pet project and he wanted to do that. Well, has he done it? The thing is, what I say is that the way I see it is everything has a moment. And when you're doing that, it's all the energy and everything seems to fit right. No? And that's when you have to do it. When the time passes with that project, even if you want to do it, it starts like dying. For example, right now, even if at the end it says that it's part of a feature, right now I'm working on something else. So I don't know if the feature is going to be done.
That's a good point. I mean, there's something that I was actually talking to someone recently, and us as filmmakers, we go into a project with a certain mindset and having this idea, this vision, and once you start to actually create it and do it and get into it and filming it, you never know what it's going to come out to end up and turn out like, and sometimes you have to just let go of that concept that you had in your head originally, because what you have might even be better than what you thought. You never know. But that's a good point.
I agree with that.
I agree. Anybody else? Any other questions? Ronald, how about yours? Are you doing that into a feature?
Well, right now it's a web series. We have a trailer, we have our pilot. We want to shoot. Quentin Mack is the director, and also producers are Andrew and Royce. And John Benzinis is the lead actor, and we're going to do 2 more webisodes. We don't know how many minutes. We've kind of written it, and it'll be an opening season. Get it out there and just see what happens and have a little fun with it in the web world. But you never know the possibilities that could come with it. It's not that, it's just the planning, the organizing, doing it right, and there's no rush. But we want to finish it in 2019.
Okay.
And then get it out there and stuff. So, and go to things like this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be standing up there.
Yeah, we should
So
make
thank you on behalf of the entire After the Piano cast and crew and everybody.
I have a question out to everybody out there. Has anyone ever heard of a platform called Sika TV?
Yes.
Yes.
It's big in the web world.
Yeah, do you have any comments or anything about that?
I know some people that have had their stuff on there.
Yeah?
And they think, so if you can get on there, it's
Yeah, I was just talking to someone from there yesterday, and I'd never heard of them before, and I thought it seemed interesting, and it seemed almost too good to be true. Like it was,
It's big. Well, I'll just say one thing about the web world. Miami Web Series, Miami Web Fest is coming up May 2nd to May 5th. It's in South Beach, mostly at the Fillmore. MiamiWebFest.com, they're really good people. But the web world and the Web Fest, they're like a cult world, but a good cult. Like everybody knows each other, they get together, they even have a World Cup. So doing what, and Annie knows, because she's highly, and this is kind of really my first web series, so we haven't finished it, so it's not technically till it's done. But it's a whole world unto itself.
Yeah.
And I think everybody has fun in it, and as you can see, it's, could be a minute, 10 minutes, whatever you want to do. And I know Annie's done it, so she is a
I've
kind of
been
an
doing it
inspiration. I
3
see
years,
and you have fun at all the events.
Have fun at all
I
the
went to the
events.
events, just didn't have a web series or anything, so.
And I am already a product ambassador, so I'm a
Nice.
product ambassador for Plaid products, where you get Mod Podge and all the paints and stuff, the acrylic paints that you guys use, so yeah.
And to all of you that don't know, I also produce a web talk
Yes.
show. It's called Downtowner.
Downtowner.
It's on Facebook. Our premiere is every week on Saturdays at 7:30, so we just missed today. But you can go and check it
Yeah, I
out.
saw it.
The last week was Mr. Eddie Poletto.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
And today it was Luis Paez.
So it's on yours?
Yeah.
It's on
Wall.
Facebook. You write Downtowner
And
without
YouTube.
any vowel.
Downtowner.
Without any
Down-
vowel. No vowels. Downtowner.
Got it.
And you can check
He's
out
amazing.
Yeah.
all the videos.
Absolutely.
P.S. I'm a realtor too, so just throw that
Yeah,
in.
any information. So, and because of Bonjour Studios, Bonjour America Studios, I'm actually coming up where I actually pitched a pilot and a series that I might do that I might need a lot of actors and a lot of directors. It's going to be called First Impressions, where an actor, a director, one director, one monologue, 1 hour. You have to master it.
Wow.
And your only competition,
Yeah.
your best competition is yourself. So
I
from
wanna be
cold
part of
read
that.
to an hour later, what's the change? And your peers will decide.
Nice.
Sweet, I'd like to be part of that.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
Congratulations, guys.
laughing randomly at people's houses.
Right.
So that was his idea. He wanted to do that, and it just didn't work because it was just like a lot of laughing in the film. It was like it was just bad, like horror film kind of situation. So when we just added that and added the punchline at the end where he's like, "Wake up, sleepyhead," after he was already dead.
Yeah.
We came in and put all that in there, and it worked out really good with the original thing. The director did a lot, reined us in because we were also just like, we're taking over her film, but we don't want to do that either. And she also had a lot of input there at the end, which was great to keep it with the original focus. And it was a mixture of her stuff, original stuff, then our tweaking, and then her stuff again. She came back in and did a lot of changes, and because she was gonna call the movie Emily, which that's why he made this logo Emily, but he still ended up using it in the
Upgrade.
in the film. So then she called it the Upgrade, which
Upgrade is
was good too. So that's it.
I would suggest you submit it to Dust. Have you heard of Dust on YouTube? It's a sci-fi YouTube short film channel.
Yeah, we'll let her know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
'Cause
Awesome.
she actually sent it off to Cannes or Con, whatever. Yeah. So she sent it off to that, so she's got to wait, see what comes out of that. So.
But it's a great channel if you
So
like
yeah,
sci-fi.
we did a lot of stuff on it. Like when he falls in the shower, there's no real reason for him to fall in the shower, so we made it seem like the Roomba.
Yeah.
So we were actually wondering, did that come off the way we expected?
That was my only issue with the
Why did he
film
trip?
is
Yeah.
that why did he fall? I didn't
Right.
get
Okay.
it. Everything else I thought was flawless.
If we
honestly.
had put a scene of the Roomba leaving,
Yes.
would you guys have gotten it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So-
tried to shoot another
that was
big,
the one-
but
I didn't
this
get
was
it.
Yeah, so she thought we didn't need that. So it's
Or
her
at least
choice.
his foot hitting
So we added the
Some-
audio
yes,
of
yeah.
the Roomba at the beginning, so you could start his wife actually recorded some audio for the Roomba, so that's why the Roomba has a little R2D2 thing going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then later when he's in the bathroom, you hear it.
after he falls, you hear that, and we were hoping that
No.
would indicate, so
don't
it's
get
like,
it.
No, you don't get it.
we're gonna definitely,
That was literally
Add
my
something.
only issue with it.
Cool.
Honestly, it was
Yeah.
awesome.
this is what we wanted, some feedback from people actually watching.
Yeah,
That's cool,
yeah.
thank you.
The only other thing that I would have added also is at the end when he's dead and she's like, "Wake up, sleepyhead," and I guess I learned how to laugh. It would have been cute if the little Roomba came and was like, kidding.
Well, I don't know if you heard it, like, we thought about that, but at the end you do hear, the very last thing in the movie, you hear his little tone.
Well,
like,
remember we couldn't
Or
do
in the
that.
background.
The Roomba wasn't even a character until we came in aboard. The film was already made.
Yeah.
The Roomba was just like.
Added.
No, the Roomba was just part of set design. Hey, it's a house. Let's put a
Yeah.
robot in there. She spent the day.
I planned to do something in After Effects, but I simply had no
Yeah.
time,
No,
so.
that's fine.
Were you guys influenced at all by Joaquin Phoenix movie?
Yes,
Her.
Yeah, that's what reminded me.
We talked about that. Like, I actually have this idea that I gave her, and I said, "Look, run with it if you're gonna do a full-fledged feature, where it's a full, like, kind of not a love story, but like a full-on fatal attraction."
You could tell there was like
where
that relationship.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted to get more relationship into there. We also wanted to bring, we told her, like, hey, bring in an actual girlfriend that she drives away, like starts making her go crazy like a haunted house, and then she's like, the guy's like, come on, it's just a computer. She's not against you, whatever, Maybe she's locking her out of the house. Maybe she's, putting on the cold water instead of the hot water,
Yeah, I like it.
I like
and then drives her away, and then when he realizes that something's up, then maybe she
As
turns
a
on him.
feature, that would
Yeah.
be a good addition as a feature, but as it is right now, it's perfect.
Yeah. So it's good to know that, so we'll let her know.
I'm sorry, I thought it was great. My only question was, I was confused. I think I missed something when he was losing oxygen and then he got back up, did she raise his heart rate, right? Like, what happened there?
Go ahead. Well,
It wasn't.
I'm sorry, the light blinded me.
The vital signs.
Oh, it's blinding you? Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
that's why I said it.
It showed the oxygen level going down to like 4%, and then he was like passing out on the phone,
Yeah.
and then
okay, so
and then
if
he
you
got
guys-
up
if you
after
guys
that and got
noticed,
angry.
like, the lady on the phone was the 911 operator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when she learned. That's her. Like she
That's right.
changes
Yeah,
her
yeah.
voice.
I thought he-
And then she says, she goes
I thought
from
that
like, hey,
too,
please
yeah.
try to remain calm,
And it was
sir.
her, yeah.
And then it says like, because your heart rate is elevated.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard that. I got
Yeah,
that.
like
too,
we were
yeah.
there, we were shooting, like he was recording
I like
her,
that. That was
and
her.
she was just like Kathleen, who was the voice, was just joking around. She was recording the lines of the set, and then she does this Southern accent for something else. It was just a joke he was making, I think, with him. And then I said, no, go back and record that 911 as the Southern accent.
Yeah, because originally in the film they had the 911 scenes, but Kathleen didn't change her voice, so it just when you watch it, you're like, why is the house?
Yeah, she just goes, and then she goes and says something more or less subtle, saying, "Was I a good operator for you, Steve?" And I'm like, it didn't work for me. So like we made a transition. He did like a little robotic, like the voice goes, and then she goes back into her robot voice, and her heart rate's elevated. So he's wearing a Fitbit or something like that.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of footage that they didn't catch where after she says that, he throws it. So that he stops monitoring her.
That would be good.
So she stops monitoring.
Yeah, so he stops monitoring his heart rate, but that's the reason. And he does kind of, you don't really see it because it's like off screen, but he's no longer wearing it.
Yeah, but that's not super important.
Yeah.
I think if you wanted to do the southern accent and kind of convey that the robot could do it, instead of having a continental breakfast, have a southern accent. Pronounce the dish that way.
Some grits.
So you forecast that it can do that.
I wanted to ask all the directors.
We took that like
Yeah.
we took that like how like when Hal learns to read lips.
Right. Yeah.
We had
Mouth,
she learns
yeah.
to change her voice, like she becomes a different. And Siri can do that. Like my wife has Siri as a man, an Australian man, and I.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted to ask everyone, because this is all the horror genre, but it's different levels of horror where you had, the boogeyman, and you have the demon, and then, and then the ghostly entity, and then, that electronic. Like, what, I don't know, I guess I want to hear from each filmmaker, like, what was your inspiration, or what is the film, the one horror film that you go to, like, this is my holy grail, this is what I want to achieve?
That's a very good question.
Well, you start.
No, you start that way.
You start. You like it.
Come on. Torment is about you, man.
Well, let me speak for the director that isn't here then.
There you go.
This is what she had told me. And it was just frankly that she had seen all these stories about, smart houses getting away from the owners and such, and she thought it was a great concept for a film. She went from there. It was as simple as
And the Alexa thing.
and the Alexa thing where Alexa would start laughing
And
randomly.
then as we said, like Fatal Attraction is a big part of that horror
Right.
film. In 2001, which that scene in 2001 is a horror, is a horror.
Yeah.
Totally
That's
got
the
that
thing.
thing.
Those are the inspirations for that film. As far as you in general, though, was your favorite horror film.
My favorite horror film? I don't know.
And Eddie, not just what inspired the film, but what you think. Like you said, what's your go-to?
What's your
horror?
holy grail
Yeah.
of horror films?
Honestly, I'm not really big into horror films. I'm kind of a
Suspense.
chicken when it comes to that. I don't really enjoy watching. I'm too scared.
So what
I
about
cover myself.
suspense?
Yeah.
But
Thrillers.
I do like suspenseful thrillers, things that like tap into your psyche and
Which
your
one?
intellect. I'm a huge fan of I know this is, it's kind of like a subgenre, like The Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's more horror, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But I feel like there's some
No, it's a little both.
It's a little both, yeah. It's kind of like Silence of the Lambs.
thriller kind
Yeah.
of stuff. I like things that mess with your thoughts and
Yeah.
where
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
when I was working with Eddie, when I got started with the project, and that I was asking him, so what is the genre we're dealing with exactly that the girls are going through? And I was thinking to myself that when he thought of it initially as a horror at first, and then he was describing it as being more psychological than physically scary in a sense, that I thought to him, what if you would just consider this as a psychological thriller? Because what she's dealing with, the way how I see it, is all up here. It's not up there. It's all in here. Is kind of the whole goal that Eddie was trying to achieve. And so the whole part of the reason, as well as being a sound designer, is that I was delving more into her psyche more than what is going on around her, as she herself is the audience, is how I approached it.
yeah.
For the sound itself, and even at the very moment when she sees the lettering on her locker that says "run" with blood and stuff like that, that was the moment right there that Eddie said to me, all right, this right here is where you have to put a sound to where she is totally freaked
I'm
out.
gonna cut you off for a second. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the sound high enough for you to listen to a lot of the sound design, which is really important for the film. But that's okay. Maybe in another instance. But that's due to like the lack of knowledge that I have in filmmaking. This is my first film. I don't know how to like adjust volumes. That's kind of like all
The
this work.
heartbeat, you can hear it.
Yeah, the heartbeat you can hear. Like at the end, you can hear a lot of.
Oh, remember a lot of the people there were right next to the speaker.
Yeah, maybe I didn't hear it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard like footsteps and creaking and like just little things here and there that I couldn't hear from over here. Maybe you guys did hear it. I don't know.
You gotta get a louder speaker.
But yeah, it would have done the film a little bit more justice if you got a little more sound design in there. That's okay.
So before we get on to like the inspiration I took from the films I love, so inspiration behind Beyond the Curtain is that it actually came from like the real life internal perspective mind. So when I was a kid, I actually used to be afraid of going to the bathroom at night because I used to think there used to be like some like monster, evil spirit behind the current of a shower curtain in the bathroom. But one day there was actually a project that I was making with friends which actually fell through. So I want to clear my head and one day this idea just came into me and then I just wrote the script naturally and it took me about 6 drafts before I walked to the final draft and then I recruited cast. I got 2 cast and members and they loved the script and I got crew members. I recruited crew members and then I shot the film and I self-edited the film and the rest. And the rest was history of making it. But when it comes to like the inspirations from other films, I'll say even though this film wasn't from Save the Cat, Blake Snyder, but were involved with anything evil, like a monster, supernatural entity, like in the house or in the place. So I kind of like took inspiration from that genre. But moving on to the movie where I took inspiration from when it comes to like the demon. I kind of like took inspiration from like the classic supernatural horror films that I love, like I guess you could say like Exorcist, The Fog, Poltergeist. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Poltergeist.
Okay.
What's up?
Did you all answer? Because I have a question also for us.
No, he has
One more.
I feel like I'm being left out.
It's okay.
Your turn.
Address us. Yeah, okay. So, alright, if I can speak, please. But anyways, yeah, for One Ghastly Night, well, my inspiration for One Ghastly Night started when I worked with Jack's film, like Behind the Curtain. But also that I used to live in that house where we filmed that movie because when I was a little kid, I was always afraid of the dark. I was always afraid of, what kind of monster would show up, stuff like that.
You're not alone.
Yeah, so I took that to thought. But I also wanted to, make a movie where it has, some of the creepiness involved. In a way, but mostly the film that inspired me the most was either Scream and Jeepers Creepers. As well as a little bit of A Nightmare on Elm Street. That's cool.
Very good. Thank you guys.
Certain horror films, it's always, what scares you most is always like that thing you can't control. Because I love horror films. I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite films. One of my favorite horror films, Psycho. Those are some things you kind of just, except for the ending at Halloween where he just surprises you and he gets up. You've never seen anything like that before in a film. Usually the killer dies after he gets shot 6 times and falls down a flight of, a 2-story house. But then, the film turns around, to hug Jamie and, oh, wait, he's not there. That scared the shit out of me as a kid, right? Yeah. But it's like, compared to modern horror, that's nothing, like in movies like Audition where you're poking someone in the eye. But so, like, what really terrifies me now is just things where I can't control. Like, first of all, religious horror.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I'm not necessarily like super religious, but my family was. When I grew up, it was always like, watch out, Jesus is watching, God's watching, So like when I watch things like that, like It's a Seventh Sign, have you ever seen that with Demi Moore, where the seals are breaking and you can't do shit about that because you're going to,
God's just gonna wipe us all out, right? Like in the movie. Whether or not you believe it, I don't anymore. But like alien abduction. It's like because they come into like
The light,
and that's
in the
done
sky,
really
right?
well.
Yeah.
With
Light in the
Fire in the Sky is good.
That was good.
Communion with Christopher Walken.
Yes.
But it was based on a non-fiction, and I use air quotes because I don't know if the guy's fucking with you, but you got to read the non-fiction book version of it, where he was a horror film. He was a horror book writer when a lot of his films got turned into horror films, like I think Wolfen. It's a werewolf movie.
Wolfen, yeah.
And a couple of other books and horror films that he did that he always had the same themes of like people looking at you with eyes. Is like then when he started to go into psychiatric therapy, they hypnosis. He realized he started to see these aliens coming to pick him up. And that book is so deep and the movie is so nuts that I almost started to believe it was happening to me too. Like you start to hey, where did this mark on my body come from? It wasn't there before,
Dude, enough. I actually want to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
Did you watch Hereditary? Did you watch Hereditary?
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not yet.
my brother just like that because you can't stop.
My brother is actually I raised him on horror because he's 9 years younger than me. So I'm 9, and I'm 13, and he's 4, and I'm making him watch Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween. So he's messed up. So he's actually he likes to cosplay as.
So that's why he's the way he is.
Yeah, exactly. So he tells me Hereditary. He's like, don't watch it. It'll fuck you up. I'm like, if he tells me not to watch it, I'm not gonna watch it.
You should watch it.
Yeah, I am going to. But I just want to save it for.
It's a quiet horror, yeah. It's
But my favorite horror film last year was A Quiet Place. That these two brought it up.
That's another inspiration, actually.
Yeah, it was.
Heredity and The Quiet Place for me are right here.
Yeah, I agree.
I just love the performances in A Quiet Place.
Same
Amazing.
here.
Yeah. We saw it.
Oh yeah.
What did you all want? I don't know how to answer this question. What did you want?
Tell me in Spanish, I'll translate.
What did you want to say with your film?
That's tough.
Okay, before that, what was your inspiration to do that film? What did you want to do?
To be honest, I was so this is the way it happened. Just long story short, I was moving out of my old apartment. I had 10 days to move. I was in the middle of pre-production of Yora, which is my next film, and I said, you know what? I always felt like this place would be great to shoot a creepy kind of film, something strange. Because what happened was every time I would take the garbage out at night, I'd have to walk across the entire building to the back of the building, and I would always feel that crazy, weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was just
it was there.
So that's what you wanted.
So no, what I wanted was just to convey something that popped up in my head when I was listening to a crazy sound, kind of a horror soundtrack at home once. Because I just like to do that. I like to listen to different soundtracks and instrumentals and music, and then that inspires me to write. So I did that, and then immediately, boom, that whole vision of Torment popped up in my head. So I had to write it. I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I just started writing. So I wrote a whole narrative, but it wasn't even a screenplay. And I guess that's what inspired me: the location and the music that I was listening to.
The feeling.
Yeah, just the feeling.
What about you? Did you feel left out all the time? What about you?
All right. Well, for me, while I was doing one guess tonight, it's just that I really hadn't filmed anything in a while, and I really wanted to step my game up because I love horror. While I was working on Jack's film together, I thought come up with the idea because I used to live in the house where we filmed. And not only that, I've been reading Salem's Lot.
Oh my gosh!
Yes. The inspiration for the demon was, of course, the mask from Salem's Lot, and I got freaked out by the way the master looked, and I was thinking, what if that creature did exist? What if it had supernatural powers that it can, appear, reappear, but also appear on your TV screen? And also on the TV screen, I got it from
The Grudge?
The Grudge.
Well, the Ring.
Ring.
The Ring.
That's right.
As well as Steve
Yeah.
King's It.
What's the guy?
Yeah.
Or, you know,
That's right.
Poltergeist, which by the way is great use of TV, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
In your case?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, so, like how, I mean, what was like the inspiration behind my film?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, so my inspiration behind my film before, I actually mentioned this before, so when
When he was a kid, you know, he was scared of going to the bathroom.
yeah,
You said that, yeah.
So I was actually gonna say something else about it. So what? So just like I said, when I was a kid, I used to be afraid going bathroom at night because I thought there was to be like something like evil hiding behind the curtain. And something else to add to this is that the reason why I made this film because I love horror movies as well, and horror has always been my life. Even when I was a kid, I've been raised by conservative parents, so they would not watch me R-rated movies when I was a kid. But I would secretly somehow watch like R-rated horror movies like on HBO, Stars, like on my TV, Cinemax too. While my parents are sleeping.
They don't call it Cinemax for nothing.
Cinemax, yeah.
Cinemax.
Right?
Okay. And in your case, it's another director who did that, right?
Yeah, and it was like the dangers of technology was her idea. She actually has. We went to her house. I was gonna gift her I had like 6 extra Google Homes at my house because I bought them on sale. I was gonna gift her one, and then I went to her house and she has an Echo Dot unplugged. She does not use it anymore. You know.
I asked this question because as I watched the four films, what are they?
No, we had the
And the other one,
the film noir, which also had
the
horror
film
elements.
noir.
You know, with that one, you know, it was actually pretty interesting because my cousin came up with it, but we had 4 writers. They all had their own version of the story. Secret Agents, film noir, a couple with like a comedy film noir because they wanted to use that, and this and that. My cousin just had like this idea for like a thriller, a horror thriller, and it was the only one that I could gel with. Maybe it's because it's my cousin, and like I was like, the other ones, it's like, I just can't, you know, they weren't taking us where we wanted to go, and so when he came up with that, it was just, I don't know, did he have like any inspiration for it? It was just like, it was just something.
It seemed like he just pulled it out of his ass.
He just pulled it out of his ass, and we just, the scenes and everything, we all pulled together and came up with shot by shot, because he just went home and wrote something again, like he rewrote what he had, but it still was, in 48 hours, it's just,
I know.
it's just blueprints, he knows.
I like to.
Well, I asked that because I mean, in horror, please don't take this as a criticism, okay? It's just an idea.
No, criticism is good.
Too late, yeah.
It's awesome.
You're gonna take it. You're gonna take it.
It's awesome.
From all the films that I saw, from all the films that I saw, the only one that I thought had a real story was the one. What is it? The
Black and white one.
Huh?
No,
Upgrade.
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 It's
Yeah.
the only one that tells a story.
Yeah.
The other one tells a feeling.
Yeah.
The feeling of being trapped in that apartment, the feeling of the bathroom, the feeling.
that was how
So
I
those
wrote
are like I felt. This is the way I see it, because I'm also writing right now a horror film. Your films seem like a piece of a bigger film that later I will know the story.
Yeah.
Right.
While that film is a film by itself.
They don't do that.
So what I think that we should, and I say this, not criticizing you but criticizing me also, is when we write horror film, let's not just, for me the implication of the machine learning to laugh was scarier than everything that I saw tonight. And not because the other ones weren't scary. The other ones were making me feel things that I feel when I get to home and everything is dark. Not thinking, but feeling.
And guess what?
If you need an intern, you got my.
I made it through the original cut. I made it through our cut. I made it through our like rewrite session through our cut.
Because it's
and
a
then,
story.
And then the last thing was like, hey, Eric, we already have this dialogue written out. What if we just move this here and it makes it seem like, ha ha ha, I learned to laugh.
Exactly.
That ha ha, I learned to laugh wasn't even something we re-recorded ourselves. It was from the original thing.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
something.
awesome.
Sometimes
Hold it in.
I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes one thing that your 3-year-old niece comes and says, this. That thing makes the whole film. So don't say that. Don't think that by adding that you created a story. No, it's a film is a lot of happy accidents.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good way to describe it.
Choices and accidents.
And it had consequences.
So if you mix feelings with a story, it's I suppose that, and I'm not saying you. I'm also putting myself into it. If we add a story to that feeling that we have, I think we will all be more successful.
Yeah. I wanted to say something because Torment was written as a scene because that's all I had time for.
As part of
right. No, not even as part of anything. To be honest with you,
okay.
when I just wrote it, I just said, look, I just want to film something in this building before I leave.
And you have all the right to do it.
Right,
Let me tell you, if you want to make a film just to scare the shit out of people, do it.
I just did it because
without story, I mean, sometimes I ask myself, I don't know if you've ever asked yourself questions about movies, no? I ask myself, why do every character in the history of movie has to have a profession? Why?
Why can't you be a bum?
Why? No, why can't I just see a person that something happens to that person
without knowing
who that person is, so that I feel more connected just as a human and not as she's just a babysitter, poor girl.
Yeah.
So sometimes I feel that way, no? So in that case, that happens. You wanna strip the movie of all the ideas so that the movie is basically horror.
Right.
But usually a story scares more than just a scare, because a scare you might cause an effect, and that's it. A story remains.
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually
You are right. Of course.
The orphanage.
If you actually had this discussion about Blair Witch, right, which is just a bunch of
scares.
Yeah. But if you actually and I told him why I like it more than he does, is because I saw this documentary, a fake documentary about the Blair Witch on Sci-Fi Channel, and it was like it's something that they couldn't do for the film, obviously, because it's found footage.
Listen, it was perfectly done.
But if you watch that documentary, Curse of the
Listen. Did you ever buy the magazine, Premiere magazine?
Yeah.
Months before the movie came out, they published a story about this found footage, and I read it and oh my god! And then I go and see the movie, and it scares, everything, because they did a great job making people believe it was really found.
They had a website.
But like you said, but you had to do what we did. Was you read Premiere magazine, you read news footage at the time, because even News Channel. And you watch the Sci-Fi Channel documentary. If you now go to Netflix and click on it, Celine does. Maybe she's never seen it, or if you have seen it, she's no
probably in
to
it. So
she's probably in it. Celine's like actually 900 years old.
Celine was actually the girl in One Ghastly Night, but she had a mask on.
She's actually the Blair Witch, which we never see.
Right, exactly.
That's another scary thing too.
But that's it is. We never see it. But
well, I ask you that question because right now I'm working on a horror film, and I want to do something like Halloween, because I do love Halloween, but I don't want it to be Halloween. I don't want people to say, oh, another Michael Myers. So I'm trying to find a way to find a way to create images, to create a story that has not been told. So, for example, I saw the red balloon. The guy walking backwards like The Exorcist. The little girl in the bathroom. No, I've seen all that in other movies. So it comes from your inner fears. Okay? Create it. Don't only. I mean, you have a monster that you're scared. Create it. No, don't.
Well, the thing is that everything is already done.
No. I completely, I'm against
Your
that.
film had some stuff like his face alone like, in the film, his performance. was
His is
original.
perfect. Yes,
It's original,
yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes,
like,
yes.
so
This
things like
was
that.
original. This was the only character in
It's like
that
you went
that I had never seen, and I was like, oh my god, with that white eyes.
Well, Eddie and I took time to go to old, you know.
Yeah. So like you're
to
a
look
wardrobe
for.
and the
He
look.
had a very specific look already in his mind.
If the little boy instead of a red balloon had a little thing, I would have never seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
know
just a
what you're
simple.
saying.
Yeah.
So I know that we are
Why did you
all
choose
we all catch things from everywhere, but don't make the mistake of putting what you saw there because somebody else did it.
I just felt like a red balloon.
Do something new. Do something.
And if you think about it, if you look at the beginning of the film, there's a little kid. See, there's lots of the film.
What you're talking about wanting to create a really strong horror story, you need the story to stand on its own without the horror.
Without the horror, yeah. If the story is scary, you can. The monster doesn't have to be horrible.
Yeah.
Because the story is.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sixth Sense. It's Bruce Willis.
It's all, and you know, like
That's it.
Annie called
That's
me.
it.
Annie called me on this when she said it wasn't a horror film, and I'm like, no, it is. That fucking film is terrifying. If you know, when you first see like the kids. Terror,
Yes.
scary.
The
Like,
poor
it's
guy.
scary.
The guy even got a nomination because he was so. It was so natural. His fear that you felt it as
The
an
Sixth
audience.
Sense.
You felt it.
It is a horror film. A lot of people are like, oh, it's
Sometimes it's scarier to not see the creature.
Exactly.
You can get that in the film. It's
There's
like,
a
he's in the
cheesy-
car. He's like telling. He's like, how do you know there was an accident? It's like, because the dude's right outside my fucking window, and you're just like, boom, oh shit. That's like the really first time you connect to the character.
Well, in Hereditary, I saw it also, but I didn't connect it to a quiet. What is
Quiet
it?
Place.
No, she just says she liked both of them.
They're good, but I connected more. I don't know if you saw The Witch.
Yes,
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Which is another Shyamalan film, right? Like,
No,
is
it's
it?
not.
No.
It's
Who
not.
did that one? No, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm confusing The Witch with the grandmother house.
The grandmother.
Yeah,
yes.
that was good. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I didn't see the grandmother.
It's called The Visit.
It's like a delayed
Yeah.
monster.
It wasn't. You never seen
No, but I like The Witch, and I like that
I haven't
because
seen The Witch.
I like The Witch, and I like that because you spend the whole movie trying to guess something,
Oh no, wait.
and at the end, I mean, you're like,
I heard a lot of you guys say you're a fan of Halloween. You raise your hand, just real quick. So here's the new one. Oh, you like the new one? No. No? Okay. So what's the difference between Halloween and all the other slasher films and even the rest of the Halloween series? What you don't get about that character is that in that first movie, and
They barely show him.
yeah, I mean,
No,
we didn't even know his name already.
When the first Halloween, Michael Myers in the first original
Is not the-
Halloween,
is not the murderer,
The
it's
first
his mom.
Halloween, the first
Well, Friday 13th.
That's Jason.
he doesn't have a clear motive. Actually, he does. But wait, hold on. He doesn't have a clear motive as why he's killing, but there's something driving him. They did capture in the new film really well. It might not you might not have been like the best film, but they captured that thing in the character. They never captured everyone else. He is fucking with them. He's a practical joker in every scene of that film, and they don't capture that in the rest of the series. He's just stabbing them. He's making things happen like off screen that you don't see. Like he's placing things around, making those noises that are making them run to another room.
Things are happening and he's just walking.
Yeah, and he set that up. He set those traps up.
What I was trying to tell about him just being a psychopath is that he's just born of that evil in his nature. It's like being born tall. He's just born evil.
They set that. You guys are thinking about they set that up in the sequels, like he's like actually evil.
However, in the Halloween 2000 Rob Zombie remake, now we see his moment.
Yeah, we do see his moment.
I like the first one, but the second one sucked. The Rob
But
Zombie.
like he's hiding behind bushes.
I did like the last one.
He's thinking of clear things to do to people as they're
The Rob Zombie ones?
The last one, no, Rob Zombie.
People don't get that.
The last
By the
one.
way, doesn't Ron look like John Carpenter?
A little bit.
I wish I had his career.
Wait. Oh yeah.
Don't wish.
It's
Do.
so scary when there is no movie.
Hey, we're alive, right?
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Have you seen The Orphanage?
Hereditary.
Now we're not just asking
Amazing.
there's no now we're just having a conversation.
Yeah, that's the idea.
About filmmakers.
Copyright that one. Having filmmakers having conversations.
Very personal.
I'm not gonna copyright everything I say.
Was that the one with the
That's
little
it,
boy?
copyright
That died?
I don't want to see any more horror films with a girl with a Latino. I don't want to see any more.
Yeah.